Hey, what's going on, beautiful royal family? All praises to the Most High God of Israel. Now, family, we are going to come to the conclusion of this uncomfortable conversation. We dealt with our brothers. If y'all remember, in the very first video, I said I was going to deal with our brothers first. And now, sisters, it's your turn. This is only going to take one conversation. And why? Because I've already dealt with many of you before. But this is not the same conversation. This is different because now I am speaking to the woman who is claiming to be an Israelite queen. Now I am speaking to the woman who claims to be a righteous one. And oh my goodness, sisters. Just like the same conclusion we came to with the brothers as we saw that 2/3 number. Guess what? The Father did not differentiate. That goes for you too. Those numbers reflect you as well. Let's talk about some of our sisters here for a second. Now, a lot of you brothers know there's some of our sisters that's going to present herself fashionable, head wrap, fringes, looking good. And a lot of you sisters, y'all got the gift of gab too. Y'all have it better than most men. And what do you do? What do you do? A lot of you women play the victim. And how do I know? I counsel a lot of you. I counsel a lot of you with your husbands. Now let's talk about this here for a second, because there is something that usually happens when you reach out to me and you are a married woman. What do I say? Where is your husband? Now, for the majority of you, you already know this to be true. You'll be like, no, he's not going to want to talk to you. And what is my response? Why not? Get him on the phone. Because I'm not just going to sit and listen to you. I want to hear his side of the story too. So what happens? Those conversations usually don't go anywhere. But then there are some of you that are honest. And you will tell your husband. And then your husband gets on the phone, and then guess what? There's a little bit of a different story, isn't it? Now, we all know that the Father said that you guys are, you ladies, you queens, y'all are the weaker vessel, okay? Now, I understand what the Father meant by that. Because when it comes to the men, we're weak, but you are weaker than us. That's what most people will never want to admit. As men, guess what? The Father has unveiled one of our characteristics, that there are times that we will get weak. And it's not talking about in strength and everything like that physically. It's talking about mental, spiritual strength, things of that nature. But you sisters, y'all know a lot of y'all are very, very grimy. You sisters know how to manipulate. You know how to lie on your man. You know how to look like the victim. But let me just explain something to you, sisters. There's a lot of men of the Most High, a lot of men of God, not playing that game anymore. They got it. They understand what a woman, they understand what their woman is supposed to be. And they are not accepting anything other than what they are supposed to be. Now, I have made this mention several times, but sisters, when it comes to you and your husbands, when it comes to the way that you look, let me tell you a little secret. Your husband is sick and tired going to bed with Tupac. Do you remember how your husband was when y'all first got together? And remember how dreamy-eyed he was when he looked at you and he gave you that look. He gave that look. You know that look. That come here, I want it right now look. Have you noticed that that's gone? You know why? It's not that appetizing. You forget that this man is still a man. And he has sexual urges and desires that you are not feeding him, that you are not satisfying. That is your husband. According to the scriptures, you cannot deny him what's his, and he cannot deny you what's yours. But a lot of you sisters love to use sex as a weapon. And then you get mad when that brother's eyes begin to wander. And then you get really pissed, really, really pissed when he goes to looking at the women of the other nations, particularly Becky, because he knows that that white girl's a freak. He knows that that white girl will do some things. Let me tell y'all a secret. It's not only the white women either. Y'all want to know who else? Asian women. Ooh, Asian women, they are very secretive about how much they love brothers. But let me tell you, they'll throw themselves in front of a white woman to get to a brother. I'm trying to explain to you, sisters. Y'all make it as if nobody wants us. We know that's not true. And of course, again, I'm not speaking about every woman, but I am speaking to that woman of God, married or unmarried. If you're married, then guess what? If this is cutting you, then you got some correction that you need to do. If you are not married, then right now you need to know the things that it's going to take to satisfy your man. You cannot leave out the sexual part. And that's why I'm focusing on that part, because that's what most women love to leave out. Why? Because y'all love to use it as a weapon. But of course, we know that is not the only thing that is involved in a relationship with your marriage. Also, the companionship. Sisters, this is a big one right here. And this is the one that's really going to piss so many of you off. And I don't give a damn if you are pissed off about what I say. Do you know what it is? Do you know what many of you sisters lack? Respect. Now, I'll be honest. There's a lot of our brothers that's demanding respect that don't deserve it. But there are many of our brothers that do. And there's many of you sisters that do not respect our brothers. You have past daddy issues. You have past husband and past boyfriend issues that a lot of these brothers are not responsible for. As a matter of fact, none of these brothers are responsible for, but yet you take your anger out on them. That man is not your father. He is not your ex-husband or your ex-boyfriend or the nigga that you liked when you was in school that didn't give you no play. A lot of you sisters hold men accountable for things that they have no reason to be held accountable for. And that's just the truth. That's the absolute truth. And any real queen can sit here and listen to what I'm saying and be like, you know what? I don't like what he's saying, but he's right. There's a lot of you sisters that do not respect our brothers. And I'm talking about our brothers that deserve the respect. You're mean. You're mean-spirited. It's true. I've seen it myself. I've seen it in many coachings. I've seen it in many situations. I'll say that. Mean. And then when a man decides that he's tired of your shit and that masculinity starts to show, then you want to play the victim. No. I want you sisters to understand something. These brothers today, these righteous kings, are a lot smarter than what you think. And what do? They kick you to the curb. They leave you by the wayside because they're not dealing with it. Because they don't have to, nor should they. And I hear a lot of you women talk about, I want a real man. You have no idea what it takes in order for you to keep a real man. You know what it takes? It takes discipline. It takes submission. And again, I'm talking about the righteous king. I'm not talking about some bum-ass nigga. And a lot of you sisters are not ready for a righteous king. And that is just the truth. I don't give a damn how you feel about it. But a lot of you sisters need to take a look at your reflection. You need to grab this Bible, go to the scriptures, all the lessons that you sisters skipped because you didn't want to hear it either. Take it to the Bible and align your life with these scriptures and see if you're ready for a righteous king. Because sisters, here's the truth. Our brothers Oh, they're getting themselves right. And the one scripture that many of these brothers use to convince so many of our sisters that you are nothing more than a cum dumpster and used for sexual favor and things of that nature. Right? I'm going to read this here to you so that you have the proper understanding of what this is. This is Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. Now, sisters, ladies, do y'all know what that scripture there is about? Many of you will be without. And I know a lot of brothers have used that for their sexual gratification, but that is not what that scripture is about. That scripture is about the sisters. Many of you are going to make it just by the skin of your ass. And you will not have a man. You will be without. But you are going to have to submit yourself to a man and beg that man, can you have his name? Can you have his name? So that your reproach can be taken away. I need y'all to understand what this is saying. That these righteous brothers, these righteous kings, they are going to be so powerful that their name will mean everything. Their name will mean everything. And if their name means something, imagine what the being is going to mean. And a lot of you sisters are going to be begging just for a name. Why? Because a lot of you are mean, fake, and phony. And you'll bat those eyes. Y'all know what it takes. Y'all know what you women do to get your way. But guess what? In these last days, they don't matter. A lot of men are focused on the Father. So you can't get him with sex. You can't wile your way in to the man of God. You know why? Because that man of God knows that there's a queen, one chosen by the Father waiting for him. And the question that you have to ask, are you worthy? Are you worthy to not have to be called a man's name, but to be a queen or one of the righteous men of Israel? Those very same brothers, the ones that stayed, that 1/3, will you be ready to accept your king? But you got to do that reflection. You got to look in the mirror. Not about me. I ain't shit, not me. Look in the Bible and compare your life, your ways, and your actions to the way that the Father told you that you are supposed to be. And then, and only then, can you truly say to yourself, I am a queen of Israel. I love my brothers and I love my sisters. Thank you so much for listening to me.